So in 1977 I came back to Novisibirsk to visit Professor Buteyko. In those times it was in his flat. There was no clinic, no assistants, no doctors around. So he was by himself, unemployed in a sense. Well, I had to learn, of course, his ideas nearly from the very beginning. And despite that woman, doctor in Ukraine, unfortunately I don't remember her name, forgot her name, and she helped me a lot. She actually saved my life, I would say. I can say that, because I was really desperate. Well, the thing is that the more you learn, the more you want to learn. It's lots of discoveries, I would say, they were not points, what Professor Buteyko made. And I was getting more and more involved. And after my problem was in general solved, I became, in a sense, a fanatic of Professor Buteyko. I wanted to be around him. I loved to visit him and used every opportunity. In general, he was very busy. He had a lot of people coming in, coming out, and I listened to their stories. I listened to what he's got to say on that subject, this subject. Ask him questions endlessly. And I really wanted to be with him, and well, to put it straight, I just dropped my job. I decided just to be with Buteyko, to do what he's doing. And I was speaking to everybody I knew, and sometimes I did not, about Buteyko methods. All my friends, all associates, or friends of friends, or friends of enemies, enemies of friends, and like that. That's what I did. So I guess it was around 1978, or 79, when I started to help Professor Buteyko to treat patients. And I was so happy actually to be involved. And of course I gave them, like, basic things, and Professor Buteyko actually treated them, of course. I was just helping him. Well, in those days he lived on his own in a 2-bedroom flat, slept in one room, and the other room was full of patients, actually, who were coming from all over the Soviet Union. And I can't even say how many patients I treated or helped to treat, because it was like an everyday job, Not like job, it's like a fun for me, very interesting. So Buteyko would say, look, could you explain this guy, he's a bit slow, or can you help, or can you just keep the class, running? I'm going to see this patient, or answer telephone call, or whatever. So that was my assistance. Well, as I understand, he gave his technique to many doctors, maybe a few dozen of doctors previous years, because he wanted to teach doctors to practice his method. But they didn't do much. Well, there was a Dr. Genina. She was around, she lived nearby in the same Novisibirsk, in Academic City. And she practiced his method with children in the clinic. Practically, like semi-unofficially, what I would say. So they let her, our authorities of the clinic, they let her help children and there were a few doctors around, but nobody had clinic at that time in Soviet Union, even Professor Buteyko himself. And I understand some doctors like whispered or helped, like in the same way like this woman from Ukraine helped me, but it was in a very low key. That's what I can say about that.
Okay.
What was the situation in those times? Professor Buteyko was not officially registered. He didn't have a clinic. As I said, he took patients in his flat, at his flat. And people would come and would find address through people like that. So they would get his address or telephone number and would arrive to his flat from all over the place. And some of them just arrive in Novisibirsk. They heard that Professor Buteyko lives in Novisibirsk. So they come to Novisibirsk and go to the medical department of Novisibirsk and ask, where is Professor Buteyko? How can they find him? And what would they get as the answer? Always, there is no Professor Buteyko here. We don't know. Professor Buteyko died. So actually, like, officially he died several times, I guess. And once the answer was he died because he held his breath to death. That was true. But normally they would say, no, we don't know Professor Buteyko. Apparently he left Novisibirsk, died from old age, or actually like they have good clinics, or you have good clinics in the town where you came from. Go there. There is no Professor Buteyko.